Hey there guys, so welcome to today's video, and I'm going to be going through and showing you guys what books I would like to read in June, which is my June TBR. So let's just get right into it. So you guys know that I've just been obsessed with books this year, and I really have just been crushing books, honestly. I finished a book today, and I finished a book yesterday. My TBR didn't go quite as planned in May, but that's okay. I'm trying to go for more so what I'm in the mood to read rather than having to stick to my full TBR, but also um not committing too much to series right now. But I have a good idea of what I want to read this month. So I finished 15 books in May. I got through 8 physical books, but I read 6 books on Kindle. I just finished my 6th book on Kindle earlier today. So, I originally had probably 13 books, physical books on my TBR, but I ended up not getting to the Red Queen series last month. Or this is the end of May. It's literally May 31st. I can't believe tomorrow is June already. At least the days don't feel like they're going by in a flash anymore. But seriously, how is it June already? It's crazy. So we're going to go through my June TBR. The first book I'm going to be reading, I actually already started because I finished the first book in this series today. And that is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, however you say her name. I just wanted to get one more book in May, but also the Housemaid series was going to be on my June TBR anyway, and I was going to do a whole thriller romance week starting tomorrow, but I realized that I don't really have that much reading time this weekend because I actually have to work a full shift tomorrow. I have to work an 8-hour shift, which is so annoying. So I'm not gonna have too much time to read. And then Sunday I'm gonna be out all day with my best friend. So I wanted to read something that was fast, and I usually just like reading books on Kindle if I don't have committed reading time during the weekend. And they're just so much faster, and I love Kindle Unlimited so much. I think it's the best subscription out there. If you have a Kindle Unlimited is the best. You only have to pay $13 a month, and you get so many free books. It basically pays for itself because you can read 10 books as opposed to buying 10 books is a lot more expensive. So, okay. So, let me just talk about the first book on my TBR because I know this is the first book on my TBR because I'm already reading it. And first off, I read The Housemaid, finished it earlier today, and I freaking loved it. 5 stars for sure. I loved it so much. I ate it up so quickly. I finished it in a day and a half. It was so good. So the second one is called The Housemaid's Secret. And this one says, as he continues showing me their incredible penthouse apartment, I have a terrible feeling about this woman behind closed doors. But I can't risk losing this job, not if I want to keep my darkest secrets safe. It's hard to find an employer who doesn't ask too many questions about my past. So I thank my lucky stars that the Garricks miraculously give me a job cleaning their stunning penthouse with views across the city and preparing fancy meals in their shiny kitchen. I can work here for a while, stay quiet until I get what I want. It's almost perfect, but I still haven't met Mrs. Garrett or see inside the guest bedroom. I'm sure I hear her crying. I can't wait to read this. It's just been so good. I don't want to read the full synopsis, though, because I feel like I'm already spoiling it for myself. So, but yeah, that's going to be the first book that I'm going to finish it tomorrow, most likely. And then the second book I would like to read this month is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I have been going through all of her romance books, and I read 2 of her books this month and then 2 of her books last month. So I've read 4 of her big romance books, and this is the last one I have to read, and I was waiting till June to read this one. I read Funny Story and Happy Place in May, and now I'm really, really excited to read this one. So this is going to be the first physical book. And then the next one I really want to read, these probably aren't going to be any specific order except for maybe these two, is going to be The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. And this is also a very big TikTok book as well. And this one is, I've had this book for like 2 months at this point, and this was also going to be one of the books that I was going to include in my thriller romance week. I was going to switch off between The Housemaid and The People We Meet on Vacation, and then The Housemaid's Secret, and then this one, but now I'm just going to start off the month with romances anyway, so this is going to be most likely the second one. And then the third one, I didn't get to this book last month. I also didn't get to some of the romance books that I wanted to read last month. Oh, actually, let me pick out this one first, because I forgot that I want to read this book, but also, like, I feel like this is kind of forgettable, but at the same time, this is now the third month that I'm putting these books on my TBR. I finished the first one yesterday, and I really didn't like it, but I'm going to read the second book in the Emily Wilde series, which is Map of the Other Lands, so I'm probably just going to put this in probably right after The Spanish Love Deception. I'm probably going to read this one. I'm not really thrilled about it, to be honest, but we're going to read it because I have it, and I feel like it might be too late for me to return this at this point. And I do think the cover is so beautiful, so I don't know if that's a full reason as to why I should read a book, but at the same time, I feel like I need to read this at this point, so I'm going to put this one in. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, though. Like, again, this is not in any specific order, so we will see. And then the next one is going to be Tessa Bailey's It Happened One Summer, since it's going to be June. I feel like this is the perfect time to read it. Again, this was on my TBR for May, but I ended up not getting to it. The reason why I didn't get to this one, or Love Hypothesis, which I'm probably going to put in this TBR as well, is because I got obsessed with the author that I'm literally going to talk about in like 2 minutes, that I'm going to read the rest of her romance novels. But I do really want to read this, so I'm probably just going to end up reading these 3 romance books this week. I'm probably not going to end up reading Map of the Other Lands, but again, it's not really in any specific order, so this is how it's going to be for now, but we're not really putting anything in a certain order. Let me just check my list really quick before I move on. Okay. Then I do want to add another thriller into the mix, but also I'm not sure which one I'm going to read first. It depends on when the third Housemaid comes out, but that's why I wanted to read those 2 books before the third one comes out, because the third one is the last one. So I'm probably just going to read that synopsis really quick for you guys. So the other thriller that I want to read this month, and then there's one other one I would like to read, is called The Housemaid is Watching, and that is going to be the third and final book in the Housemaid series. I'm very curious as to see where this one goes, because I felt like, how can you make this a series? Because, like, how many times can you read about the housemaid, you know? But I thought, like, the second one was going to be a repeat of the first one, but it's not. It's actually really good so far. I just started it, like, 2 hours ago. I only got, like, 20 pages in, and I'm already hooked. But the third one is called The Housemaid is Watching. I have 2 other 2024 releases that I'm going to talk about for June. And it's coming out June 11th, so I don't know by that time whether or not I'm going to read it by this point or maybe a little bit later on. But this one says, "You must be our new neighbors." Mrs. Lowell gushes and waves across the picket fence. I clutch my daughter's hand and smile back, but the second Mrs. Lowell sees my husband, a strange expression crosses her face. I feel like I'm already getting spoilers from this, so I'm not going to read anymore, but you know what it's about. I feel like a lot of people have read these books at this point, but I'm not going to spoil it for myself. Why would you put spoilers in the synopsis? Like, I know that, I feel like series do that more if you haven't gotten to the next book, as opposed to like standalone books. Like standalone books just give you like a brief synopsis of what the book is about. But like with series, I feel like they give too many spoilers in the synopsis. I don't know why they do that, so I'm not gonna read any more of that. And then before I read the next thriller, I probably am going to put in this book first before I get to the other romance books. I actually just picked up this book, and this was actually, I think this came out either at the end of April or May, but I would really like to get into this author, and I actually just picked up this book a half hour ago, and I really do want to read it this month. I really would like to get into Elsie Silver because she's also a really big romance author, and like I said, I'm pretty much just in the mood for summer romances right now because it's the summertime, and that's just what I want to read. So the one I picked up is her newest release, which is Wild Love. And this is part of the Rose Hill series. Her other books in the Chestnut Spring series is like her big series. I think that's her only other series. Most of them are free on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm just going to read those probably in July, but I would like to read at least this one this month. So this one is definitely going on my TBR for June, and I'm definitely going to read this one. This one is definitely going to be a priority for me this month. And then the other thriller that I want to read is this one. I don't know, I was just really inspired to read this one this month. So but besides The Housemaid is Watching, and then there's actually another June thriller release that's coming out in like a couple of weeks that I will get to. Depends on how many books I get through, but these are the books that are going to be on my TBR this month. I really want to read Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. I've heard good things about this, and I actually just saw Batty Bean read this like a couple of days ago, and she gave it 4 stars, so I'm kind of intrigued to read it now because I've actually had this book since like, I believe the end of April. I haven't had it too long, but I feel like this is going to be a pretty quick read. And also like I said, I'm kind of in the mood for romance and thrillers this month. And I haven't really gotten to read that many thrillers this year, so I would like to read this one. So I'm probably going to read this right after Wild Love. And yeah, I really would like to get into this author, and I actually only got this book for $5 because I found it at like this local bookstore in another town here, and it was only $5. So I went ahead and picked that up because I didn't have to pay more at Target for it. And then, yeah, the next ones I'm going to read are going to be these 3. And this is the romance author I got obsessed with, and I'm definitely 100% reading these books in June. I read Abby Jimenez's first series of books this month, and I'm literally obsessed with her. They were all 5-star reads for me, like more so than Emily Henry. I think Abby Jimenez is my favorite romance author of the moment, but I also think she's my favorite romance author ever because I loved the Part of Your World series so much. So I read Part of Your World, and then I read Yours Truly like 2 books after that. I think I read 2 books in between, and then I was like, I started Yours Truly like 2 days before that, and then I was like, I just want to finish it because I love her writing so much. That was another 5-star for me. And then I just read Just for the Summer like a week and a half ago, and I loved that one too. That was another 5-star. So I actually picked up her other series at Target because they actually just started carrying this one like 2 weeks ago. And what's so funny is that I was just going to pick these up, and I think I was in the middle of reading Just for the Summer when I found these at Target, and I was like, oh, now they have pretty much all of Abby Jimenez's books except for Part of Your World. Select Targets usually have that one, but they have like 5 of her books, so I guess she's getting really popular now, but her books are so good, so I really wanted to read this series. I'm not exactly sure what this series is actually called. Let me just look it up really quick. Who did the phone? The Friend Zone series, okay. literally the title of the first book. So the first book is called The Friend Zone, so I'm definitely going to read this. The second book is called The Happy Ever After Playlist, and then the third book is called Life's Too Short. So 100% reading these. I love her writing so much. I'm obsessed with her writing. So we're definitely going to read these. And like I said, I'm just in the mood for romance books right now. I know I'm going to say that after every time I put romance books down, but you know how I am. So that's 9 books so far. And then I think by the time I finish those, I think that the next book I'm going to read is going to be another thriller, because Riley Sager's new book also comes out in June. So I'm 100% reading that. I actually haven't read any of his other books at all this year. I've only read 2 of his books so far, and that was in December. But I've also seen many mixed reviews about his other books, and honestly, I don't know if I have any interest in them, except for maybe Lock Every Door. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, I'm really interested in reading his new book that's coming out soon, and this one is called Middle of the Night. And I'm definitely reading this one, so I'm super excited, and it comes out June 18th. And I can't wait for this one. I'm so excited. It says, a man must contend with the long ago disappearance of his childhood best friend and the dark secrets lurking just beyond the safe confines of his picture-perfect neighborhood. The worst thing to ever happen on Hemlock Circle occurred in Ethan Marsh's backyard. One July night, 10-year-old Ethan and his best friend and neighbor Billy fell asleep in a tent set up on a manicured lawn in a quiet, quaint New York City cul-de-sac. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm not going to read anymore, but I really want to read that one. So that's already 2 books on Kindle, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm probably only going to pick out possibly 3 more. I mean, I already know 2 other physical books that I want to read, because the last book that I want to read on Kindle, but there are 2 other books that I want to read on Kindle, but we're just going to pick these out, and then those Kindle reads I'll just read at any point in the month. So the next one that I really would like to read in June is The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Haro. I actually just picked up this book 2 days ago, but I don't know. I've been really intrigued to read this one, and I kind of want to read another witchy book. So I've been kind of in the mood for another witch book. So I'm really excited to read this, because like Heartless Hunter didn't really do it for me. I don't know what it is. Like, so many people loved that book, and I'm like, did we read the same book? Because I only gave it a 3.75. And, like, so many people have given it 5 stars. And I'm like, but it was so predictable. I was like, I thought Cruel Prince and Kingdom of the Wicked were so much better. Like, those are fantasy books that I would recommend to anyone. But I think that this one's going to be fun. So I'm excited for it. I don't even know what it's about. But I've seen, like, Batty Bean just finished this as well. But now I really want to read it. I take a lot of her recommendations because she has some really good ones. I'm going to move this up here because I have to fit these books here. So that is going to go here. And then probably the last physical book that I'm going to pick out, because I really do want to read 2. Actually, there's going to be possibly 3 other Kindle reads. So I don't know if I'm going to get to the rest of these. And I feel good about picking out these ones, and these are the ones I really want to concentrate on. But I also really want to read this one, and this is going to be like the only hardcover that I'm reading. And this one I actually got from Book of the Month, but now I'm actually regretting getting it from there. I think I'm going to cancel it already. I should have just bought this at Target, but you get your first Book of the Month book for $5, and I really wanted to read this. So I got 5 Broken Blades by May Corland, and I'm super excited to read this. But I don't think I'm going to keep Book of the Month. I just got this one for $5, and I paid like the $16 membership. But when I really think about it, it would have been the same price just to pick it up from Target. But I already got this one, but I think I'm just going to cancel it so I don't get charged for June. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to keep it. There were 2 other books that I wanted to get from there, but I didn't know that you couldn't make them your book of the month. Like, they can only be add-ons. But I've heard so many good things about this book, so I really do want to read it this month. Sorry, my screensaver kicked in. And then there are, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12, 13, 14, 16. That's already going to be 16 books. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm intending on reading Housemaid is Watching, Middle of the Night, and then another June release, and then 2 other books on Kindle. So those are probably all going to be read on Kindle, the June releases. I mean, definitely The Housemaid is Watching, because it's actually included with Kindle Unlimited, and that's why I love Frida McFadden, because she mostly has all of her books for free on Kindle Unlimited, which I think is awesome. But let me talk about these 2 books, because I really do want to read these. So these are going to be added because these are going to be my fantasy books besides Once and Future Witches and 5 Broken Blades. I've been dying to read these, so I'm definitely going to get to these in June. So the first one is the Crowns of Nexia duology, and this is The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and I'm dying to read this because so many people talk about this as being like their favorite fantasy series, so I'm dying to read it. Like, a lot of people have given this book 5 stars. So this one says, human or vampire, the rules of survival are the same. Never trust, never yield, and always, always guard your heart. The adopted human daughter of the night-born vampire king, Araya carved her place in a world designed to kill her. Her only chance to become something more than prey is entering the Kajari, a legendary tournament held by a goddess of death herself. And the good thing about these books is that, again, they're both available on Kindle Unlimited for free. So the second one is called The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. And that's what that cover looks like. So I'm definitely reading these 2 books. I can't wait. It says, love is a sacrifice at the altar of power. In the wake of Kajari, everything Araya once thought to be true has been destroyed. A prisoner in her kingdom, grieving the only family she ever had, and reeling from a gutting betrayal, she no longer even knows the truth of her own blood. So, yeah, dying to read those. And then her next book that comes out, well, actually, it's not a duology, which I don't know why it was labeled as a duology when it's not. But I want to be ready for the 3rd book that's coming out in November, and it's called The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. So we're definitely going to read those 2 this month. And I think those are the last 2 books. Oh, wait, hold on. There's one more book on Kindle. Hold on. And it's another June 2024 release. And it's by one of my other favorite romance authors. And this is her 3rd romance book that is coming out, and it's called A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. I have to read this. I've actually known about this for months, and it's finally coming out at the end of June. It comes out June 25th. So I'm 100% reading this one. This one says, a professor of literature finds herself caught up in a work of fiction, literally. Eileen Merriweather loves to get lost in a good happily ever after. The fictional kind, anyway, because at least imaginary men don't leave you at the altar. She feels safe in a book at home, which might be why she's so set on going on her annual book club retreat this year. She needs good friends, cheap wine, and grand romantic gestures no matter what. So yeah, I'm definitely reading that. So I think that is going to be my TBR for June. Again, it can vary, but honestly, I think these are all the books that I'm going to read, unless I don't read Map of the Other Lands. The only other book that I would read would be either Love Hypothesis or Betting on You by Lynn Painter, because I keep on wanting to read Betting on You, and then I keep on getting more books. So I still haven't read it yet, but also I didn't think I was going to get obsessed with Abby Jimenez and read all of Emily Henry's books too. And then I'm only reading one more book that's the most popular romance books. So that means I'm still not going to read Love Hypothesis. I probably should. Add love hypothesis. Because I have to read this. I don't know. I might just read it over the map of the other land. So this is going to be pending. You know what? I'm still going to put it down, but I'm going to add Allie Hazelwood's book again because I didn't get to it last month. So it's just going to go in here for now. It's probably going to go here. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to stick it here. We're going to see when we can read that. But yeah, that's it. That's going to be my TBR for June. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, that's not terrible. 16 books, 5 on Kindle. I probably will be able to do that. Let's goal ourselves for 16. But I've been averaging like 14 to 15 books a month, usually 14, because the only reason why I read more than 15 books in March was because I read like 2 like shorter books, because I read the Cruel Prince 1.5 and the 3.5. So those took like no time, and one of them was a short story, and I read that like the last day of March. That's why I read 16 books over 15. So I'm mostly averaging 14 to 15 books a month. So we're going to goal ourselves for 16, but 15 is probably going to be the number because that's what I've been averaging anyway. Okay, let's read the synopsises of these real quick. So People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This one says, Poppy and Alex, Alex and Poppy, 2 best friends, 10 summer trips, one last chance to fall in love. Great. That's all I'm going to say. I'm really excited to read that one. So obviously that was going to be the first romance that I read this month. And also it's going to be the last Emily Henry book. And then again, The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. I'm excited for this one, but I've also seen many mixed reviews about it, but still going to start off the month with this one too. And this says, a wedding in Spain, an infuriating man, 3 days to convince her family she's actually in love. So I'm just going to read the one-liners up here so we don't have to read for too long. And then it's probably going to be It Happened One Summer, like just going to bang out these romances. And also this is the other most popular romance book. Tessa Bailey is back, inspired rom-com about a Hollywood it girl who's cut off from her wealthy family and exiled to a small Pacific Northwest beach town where she butts heads with a surly, sexy local who thinks she doesn't belong. So we're definitely going to read that. And then, I don't know, I'm not even looking forward to reading Map of the Other Lands, but just going to show it. I've read the synopsis of this like 3 times. I'm not reading the synopsis again. It's just going to stay on the shelf, and we'll read it when we get to it. And then Wild Love by Elsie Silver. I'm really excited for this one. I've seen really good reviews about this. And again, I really want to get into Elsie Silver. So this says, she's been driving him wild for years, the good kind of wild, the bad kind of wild. But mostly the kind of wild that comes with wanting your best friend's little sister and knowing you can't have her. Oh, that's a little weird, but still really want to read it. So, okay. That's going to go here. And then next is going to be Then She Was Gone. I just want to put another thriller in there besides The Housemaid Is Watching. And this is by Lisa Jewell. And it says, no one just ever disappears. No one ever just disappears. Ellie Mack was the perfect daughter, and then she was gone. That's it. 10 years after Ellie's disappearance, her mother, Laurel Mack, is trying to put her life back together when she meets an unexpectedly charming man in a cafe. Before she knows it, she's meeting Floyd's daughters, and his youngest Poppy takes Laurel's breath away. I love how the main character in this book is called Poppy, and so is, I think, the main character in People We Meet on Vacation. That's actually really funny. I didn't even know that. And we're reading both of these in June. This one says Poppy has everything she should want, but she's stuck in a rut. When someone asks when she was last truly happy, and she knows without a doubt that it was on that ill-fated final trip with Alex. I can't wait to read this. That's really funny. I didn't even know that. So, yeah, I'm excited to read that too. Did I even finish that sentence? Because the eerily precocious Poppy is the spitting image of Ellie. Okay, so I'm excited to read that. And then Abby Jimenez. I might read these sooner, though, just because I can't wait. I might actually put these... I think I'm going to put Wild Love in front of this one. And then probably this one. I don't know. I really could care less about Map of the Other Lands. I think I'm going to put it here. And we're going to read these after that because I can't wait to read my girl. So the first one is called The Friend Zone. And this one says, Kristen Peterson doesn't do drama, will fight to the death for her friends, and has no room in her life for guys who just don't get her. She's also keeping a big secret, facing a medically necessary procedure that will make it impossible for her to have children. Planning her best friend's wedding is bittersweet for Kristen, especially when she meets the best man, Josh Copeland. He's funny, sexy, never offended by her mid-wide streak of sarcasm, and always one chicken enchilada ahead of her hangry. That's so funny. I love her. And every man in Abby Jimenez's books always has a dog. And I love how the dog is on the back cover. That's so cute. Do I want to read this first? Don't mind me. I just love Abby Jimenez so much. So I think we're going to put them here. And then Tessa Bailey's going to go here. I love Abby Jimenez, and I really want to start off the month with her books. So these are just going to have to get read first. And then the Happy Ever After playlist. This was actually the one that was on my list first, and then I didn't know that this was an interconnected standalone series too. Like, you don't necessarily have to read these in order, but if you do, it just adds so much to the interconnected worlds, because, like, she's, like, the only romance author where she brings other characters into her second books that were, like, from the first book. Like, obviously, in the first book, you're not going to get that because it's the first book. But this was the one on my list because I've heard that this one is probably the best one in the series, and this one's supposed to be good, too. It's actually the first one that's probably everybody's least favorite Abby Jimenez book, but honestly, I think I'm still going to love it. So this one says, and the dog is on the back, too. How cute! But the dog isn't on the back on this one. It's on the front. That is so cute. This one says, 2 years after losing her fiancé, Salome Monroe still can't seem to get her life back on track. But one troublemaking pup with a take-me-home look in his eyes is about to change everything. With her new pet by her side, Salome finally starts to feel more like herself. Then, after weeks of unanswered texts, Tucker's owner reaches out. He's a musician on tour in Australia, and bottom line, he wants Tucker back. It's gonna go like this. I love her so much, and I'd rather finish her books first. So then I will have finished all of Abby Jimenez's books and all of Emily Henry's books. So that's how it's gonna be. We're just gonna move these up, and I think we're gonna move this one here, and then we'll read the rest of these. I think that's a good order. And then the last one is called Life's Too Short. And again, the doggo is here, so adorable. And it says, when Vanessa Price quit her job to pursue her dream of traveling the globe, she wasn't expecting to gain millions of YouTube followers who shared her joy of seizing every moment. For her, living each day to its fullest isn't just a motto. Her mother and sister never saw the age of 30, and Vanessa doesn't want to take anything for granted. I'm excited. I also know these are supposed to be sad, though, but it's okay. It's okay. We already read the synopsises for all of these. We just decided to move them all up. And then whether or not we get to Love Hypothesis, I think I've read the synopsis for this like twice already, but I think I probably, you know what? I don't think I'm going to read this. I just keep on moving it. And oh my God, really? Did that really have to happen? I don't even know when I'm going to get to it. I mean, to be honest, I have no desire to read it right now because I really didn't like the first one. So we're just going to put Love Hypothesis here because I'd rather read that. And then The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Haro. This one says, in 1893, there's no such thing as witches. There used to be, in the wild, dark days before the burnings began, but now witching is nothing but tidy charms and nursery rhymes. If the modern woman wants any measure of power, she must find it in a ballad box. But when the Eastwood sisters, James Juniper, Agnes Amaranth, and Beatrice Belladonna, join the suffragettes of New Salem, they begin to pursue the forgotten words and ways that might turn the women's movement into the witches' movement. I'm excited for this one. I think I'm actually going to put this one here. And I think Love Hypothesis might be the last book that I read this month, but I'm not going to, like, rush to read it. I don't know. I don't really like Allie Hazelwood that much, but I'm still going to read it this month. And then Five Broken Blades by May Corland. I'm so excited for this. It says, it's the season for treason. The king of Yusan must die. The 5 most dangerous liars in the land have been mysteriously summoned to work together for a single objective, to kill the god King June. He has it coming under his merciless immortal hand. The nobles flourish, while the poor and innocent are imprisoned, ruined, or sold. So I'm really excited to read this. So those are going to be 2 fantasy reads for this month. I don't think Map of the Otherlands is going to be, but like I said, I'm going to read Serpents of the Wings of Night and Ashes of the Blood and King, or whatever it's called, and I'm really excited for those. So that's it. That is going to be my TBR for June, and I'm actually really excited for these. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 4 or 5 books on Kindle. That's still 16 books. But The Housemaid is Washing is going to take me, like, no time. And the other 2 books, or 4 books, or whatever, I'm super excited to read those. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys are reading this month. And I hope you guys enjoy my TBR videos. I've just been having so much fun making them. They literally books have made me so happy this year. And I've read 65 books. I think I just read my 65th book today. I think so. Let me see. Yeah, 64 actually. I'm on my 65th book, which is The Housemaid's Secret. So I'm going to fill this shelf and I'm going to show you guys what's up here in a sec. I actually have been keeping, I bought like a book bin so I can start filling my shelf with the rest of my TBR for July. But this is my TBR shelf for the month, and then these are my finished books for the month. So I'm going to move all of these after I film my reading wrap-up for May, and then all the books that I read in June are finished are going to go to this side. And that's how I've been doing it. So yeah, I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so I just filled the shelf with the rest of the books that I'm going to get to in July, and probably most of those are going to be on my July TBR. So, but I also really want to read the Magnolia Park series in July. I still want to read the Shatter Me series, but I think July I might possibly crack into Red Queen at some point. But I don't think it's going to be next month either. I was going to, and then I was like, I've seen so many mixed reviews on the series that it just doesn't make me want to read it anytime soon. And also, like, during the summer months, I'm not really into reading full series right now, unless it's like a romance series or like a thriller series, because I feel like they're just so much faster, and I just don't feel like committing to a like full-on series right now. I'd rather like read duologies like The Serpent Wings of Night and all of that. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I still have 4 fantasy books on my TBR, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 romance books, and then a novel love story will be 8. So yeah, and I think 3 thrillers. So 8 romance books, 3 thrillers, and 4 fantasy books. I think that's pretty good. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 romance books, 2 thrillers, 4 fantasy. Okay, that's good. 15. actually 3 thriller books, so that's 16. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at CW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. Again, what are you reading? Are you reading any of the new 2024 releases this coming month? And then in July, probably the first book I'm going to read is Reckless by Lauren Roberts, which is part of the Powerless series. And obviously that's going to be the first book that I read in July. And then I'm probably going to read a romance or two and then figure out the rest. But yeah, we're going to worry about that in July. Let's worry about the books this month. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. I just wanted to jump in for a minute or two because I'm actually updating my TBR because I'm going to put in 2 books that I really want to read very soon, as opposed to The Love Hypothesis and I forget what the other one was that I'm swapping out. I can't remember. Doesn't really matter. But I am currently reading People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry still. I should be finished with that by tonight. I only have like less than 100 pages left. I think I have like 90 pages left. So I should finish that tonight. But I actually went to Barnes & Noble 2 days ago with 2 of my friends, and I picked up a couple books from there. But this book I really have been dying to read, so I'm going to read this right after I'm done with People We Meet on Vacation. And I picked this up at Barnes & Noble, and this is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I'm just in a very like romance but also thrillery mood, so I'm kind of wanting to offset some of the romances with some thrillers this month. Like I said, I'm still going to read The Housemaid is Watching when it comes out, like after this weekend, but this just sounds like such a fun time and I can't wait to read it. So this one says, Patricia Campbell's life has never felt smaller. Her husband is a workaholic, her teenage kids have their own lives, her senile mother-in-law needs constant care, and she's always a step behind on her endless to-do list. The only thing keeping her sane is her book club, a close-knit group of Charleston women united by their love of true crime. Then James Harris walks into her life during the summer of 1993. He makes her feel things she hasn't felt in years, but when children on the other side of town go missing, Patricia wonders if he's connected. Is he a Brad Pitt, a Bundy, or something much worse? So I'm super excited. It was such a super short synopsis, so I just read the whole thing. But it's going to be such a fun time. And it's 400 pages, which is not terrible. But I'm going to read a lot of this tomorrow because I don't think I'm going to go anywhere tomorrow. I kind of want to have like a makeup-free day where I just read all day. So I'm going to try and read a decent amount of this tomorrow. And then one of the other books that I got at Barnes & Noble, I really would like to read this month as well. And I've been kind of interested in getting into this author as well. And this is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I've heard mixed reviews about this book and her second book, and I've heard that her third book is the best one, but that one just came out, so I really do want to catch up with this author's work by reading this book and the second one. You don't necessarily have to read these in order, but pretty much everybody recommends that you read this one first because they don't say they're part of a series, but it doesn't say like this is number 1 and then the second one is number 2. Like I think they're just interconnected standalones is what I'm guessing. Like they say, again, you don't necessarily have to read them all this in order, but it's just suggested that you do that. So I picked up this one so I could read it. So yeah, I'm gonna add these 2. And I think I know what the other one was, is that I actually ended up returning Elsie Silver's Wild Love, the physical copy, to Target. So I got some money back for that because it's actually free on Kindle Unlimited. I think all of her books are free on Kindle Unlimited, which is really nice. Or like her whole Chestnut Springs series is free on Kindle Unlimited, and so is Wild Love. So I'm like, I'm just going to add that as a Kindle read for this month. And I'm probably going to read that this weekend, actually, because Usually on the weekends, I need a shorter book anyway, so I think I'm just going to read Wild Love when I finish Southern Guide to Slaying Vampires, probably by... I might finish it earlier than Friday because I'm going to read a lot tomorrow. Like, I'm going to try and get at least halfway through by, like, 4 o'clock tomorrow, and then I'll just read more after that. So, I feel like there was something else I wanted to say about books, and now I can't remember what it was. It was something like annoying me. I love when it's something annoying me. So I ordered my book of the month, and I didn't know that the book that I was getting, because the June picks weren't really doing it for me. Like, most of the books that were available for book of the month for June were not really any books that I was, like, super thrilled to read. I would have rather just gotten 2 of the add-ons, but then that would have been more expensive. So I selected... Where's my phone? I selected this book that I didn't know is part of a series. And it's actually the 3rd book in the series, so I'm going to have to read the first 2 before I read this one. But I'm probably not even going to get to this book until whatchamacallit? Oh, this shows my address. I don't want to show that. Until next month, and it's called A Talent for Murder by Peter Swanson. I didn't know it was part of a series. Let me pull it up on Goodreads. I don't know why I'm pulling it up on Book of the Month. A Talent for Murder. It's part of this series called Henry Kimball / Lily Kintner. And the first one... Oh, there's actually one by Agatha Christie called by the same name. So the first one is called The Kind Worth Killing. And the second one is called... Where the hell is it? I don't know why Goodreads doesn't list all the books sometimes. It really is annoying. Like when you try to look up... Oh, the second one is The Kind Worth Saving. But then the third one is called A Talent for Murder. So, like, it doesn't even have the same similar title as the first 2 do. But I didn't know it was a 3rd book in a series, so now I'm going to have to read the first 2. But at least it gets me into, or gets me to read some more thrillers. So, I'm just, like, annoyed because now I'm going to have to prioritize those 2 in order to read the 3rd one. Just, like, too many books to read. But I still have my TBR cut out for me this month. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been rambling too long, so bye.